Black everything. Come on in, come on in, come on in, come on in. Tell the friend. We back. Tavistock Institute, Chapter 5, Television. Tell lies to your vision. We moving right along through. Appreciate you checking us out. Like it, share, subscribe it. Thumbs up like you hitchhiking. You know how we do. Yes, indeed. We're going to come right back where we left off. Peace. I do not own the rights to this music. Peace to King Tupac. You know how we rock. And we say, however, human powers of of hypotheses and creative reason become a force for improvements in order of nature, and thus cannot be seized, encased into an 850 word vocabulary. Through languages, nation states were given meaning, and through them, our quest for truth. In ancient Greece, in Plato's Meno dialogue, Socrates brings out the innate genius in the slave boy by encouraging him to solve the problem of doubling the square. He thus proves that slavery is unjust by showing the creative nature of the human species. Plato's pro imperial opponent, Aristotle, assuming that man has no soul, declared that nature has destined some to be slaves and has made others their masters. Tavistock knows that ideas are more powerful than any standing army. To get people to accept their imperial ideas, Tavistock seeks to control the way people think, especially science, the area where human powers of hypotheses and creative reason become a force for improvements in the order of nature. If you can control how we think, you can control how we respond to events around us, no matter what the events might be. This process is called paradigm shift, an overturning of existing sets of assumptions about society. Historically, the fight to preserve language as the cornerstone of nation state republics goes back to Italian playwright Dante Alighieri. Alighieri. As sociologist Dennis Speed writes on the pages of Fidelio magazine, quote, it is important to identify the fact that the people of the Italian Renaissance spoke a language that did not exist 200 years earlier, but was invented by the poet Dante Alighieri. Dante, who lived from 1250 to the early 1300s, struggled to invent a language that could resurrect the most profound ideas of human thought, even if his own heirs should ultimately commit suicide. This suicide, in fact, did occur through the banking collapse caused by the Bardari and the Peruzzi families. Quote, without Dante's gift of the Italian language, which was shaped by him from over 1,000 local dialects, there could not have occurred the Renaissance. Dante's Divine Comedy refined the canto form of sung poetry. His followers, Francesco Petrarca, sought to advance language further with the invention of the sonneto or the sonnet, but Petrarca's friend Giovanni Boccacion, Boccacion, however you say that, was assigned by Petrarca to a different project called the Decameron. The Decameron was written in order to prevent the whole of Italian society from sinking into cultural pessimism and dying out during the Black Death of the 1340s and later. It consists of satirical stories, many quite risque, which recount the tragedy of Europe's suicide in a way designed to make people laugh at themselves and repeat the stories, and hopefully not the behavior which has destroyed them. Thus, they would learn Dante's Italian. Geoffrey Chaucer attended a lecture by Boccaccio on Dante in 1375 and got the idea to do the same thing in English. Thus was born the Canterbury Tales, which recount the hilarious tales told on a religious pilgrimage to the Church of Canterbury. The English being every bit as lascivious as the Italians also repeated the stories and thus learned how to speak English. Later, Shakespeare imported the sonnet of Petrarca into English. Your literate English is in large measure Italian, a sort of grandson of Dante's Italian. Later, the Christian humanist figure Erasmus of Rotterdam inspired his student Francis Francois Rabelais, Rabelais to do for France what was done by the Boccaccio for Italy and Chaucer for English. Thus was born the astounding character Gargantua, and with it the French language. And in Spanish, we have the great example of Don Quixote. In this way, languages created by poets lifted the populations that had been dominated by ignorance and thereby ruled over. In fact, the languages created the nations, not the other way around. It's all about them languages. See how this thing works? Tavistock Institute's getting deeper and deeper as we go. We're gonna be right there. Coming back, still on chapter 5, television, tell us see your vision. Appreciate you checking us out. All black everything, thinkers plight, big dreams, many dreams, peace and love. We coming back. Like and share, subscribe it, thumbs up, like a hitchhiking, you know how we do it.